Hey guys, welcome back to Pete Punch Beef Gaming. This is Pete. Hey, I'm going to talk a little bit today about the new Mega-Gargant. I'm super excited. This is my first actual unboxing I'm going to do for the channel. Why did I choose this one? Because it's a super cool centerpiece for Warhammer Fantasy Age of Sigmar. I haven't played Age of Sigmar in forever. I used to have an old school dwarf army, I had some dark elves for a while, and now I've been collecting and painting my Ogre Kingdom army. And so you're like, hey, why are you doing this now? Well, I live in the Colorado area, and there's a shop called Collector Mania that's doing a slow grow league with the new General's Handbook. And I bought the Feast of Bones box set because I thought it looked awesome, and I painted up all the ogres, and I'll show a video of that here before too long, maybe take some photos and share it with this video. But when I saw the Mega-Gargant coming out, I thought, I am gonna get one of those, I'm gonna paint it, and I'm gonna kind of capture all of this. I want to unbox it here for you guys, and maybe I'll do some time-lapse videos of putting it together and painting it up and what it looks like in my army. Right now I have to have 750 points of ogres, so I'm probably not gonna be able to put them in right away, but as I work towards 2,000 points, I definitely think this critter is going to make an appearance. So really the intent of the video today is to take a look at the packaging, the model itself, all the bits and bobs that kind of come with it. I'll give you my take on it. We'll do a deep dive looking at all of this stuff, and of course we'll talk about the price point and whether this is something that you want to get. I think that'll be an important part of the discussion, so let's get into it. Okay, guys, here it is, the Mega-Gargant, Sons of Behemoth, or Behemoth, however you pronounce that. We've got quite a model here to take a look at today. You can see the price point is $195 US. That's what I paid for it. I didn't get any sort of discount or anything of that nature, so we'll talk a little bit about that price and how that kind of fits into everything. We'll take a quick look at the art here. As usual, the GW studio painters are phenomenal. You can just see all the detail that is going to be captured in this figure overall. It's quite amazing when you get right down to it. I think that's a tentacle. Maybe this is the Kraken version, but it looks like they have some sort of Kraken tentacle on the side of it, and a fish net over his gut, and a megalodon jaw necklace, something along those lines. And of course, we've got the fish hooked human on there. I don't know, maybe those are cannons for a club that are all kind of captured together. But quite cool. In fact, look at the detail on the heel. Looks like this guy's got some terrible unhealthy heels, but oh well, he's a giant. Probably not high on his list of things to take care of here. All right, let's take a look at the back of the box. All right, so the back of the box. So what it's going to show here, and this is probably the most important thing to note, build one of 3 Mega-Gargants. So you can start with the Kraken Eater. You've got a couple of different items with it. You've got the War Stomper, which I believe is this fellow right here, the horn growing out of the side of his head, and then of course the Gate Breaker. Let's start with the Kraken Eater here, so you can get a little closer look at him overall here. You've got he's got, looks like a nose ring. His dental hygiene is a little on the low side. He's missing a tooth there. He's got some skulls. It looks like he's got a part of a boat. Looks almost Viking in nature, something along those lines. Very cool. He's got a net full of people, fish, sharks, maybe garbage out of the sea, I don't know. And then he's got his shipwrecker club, which looks pretty awesome. And then we've got, we'll go to the War Stomper next. This guy looks almost a little bit more chaos in nature with that horn sticking out of the back of his shoulders there. He's got this super cool looking metal gauntlet. It looks like maybe it's got some leg guards from armor for finger guards there. He's got some, looks like some chaos stuff around his waist for corn. Looks like you can model him with an arrow sticking out of his legs. Looks like we've got some shiny things, as they call it, for different detail pieces. And then you got his backplate armor there, which almost looks like an Ogre Mod tribe gut plate. Maybe that's what it is, maybe not real sure, but super cool looking. And then finally we've got the gate breaker, which I kind of really love the aesthetics of this guy. He's holding some human by the body there, and he's got this really cool executioner style mask that he's got there. And it looks like he's swinging around a piece of masonry by a chain and a length of rope, the Fort Crusher flail. Very cool looking. The other thing that's kind of neat is they give you some recommendations in terms of what colors you can paint these guys up, what you need specifically. Here you go, get a good picture of those. We'll delay just a minute so you can take a look. For those that are kind of new to miniature painting as a whole, I would say just bear in mind that these are kind of the I don't know, the basics that I think you need to really achieve the paint schemes here. It takes a lot of blending, a lot of work to achieve the results that these studio painters have, but I just want to caution you that there could be quite a bit of work to get all of this put together. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this guy opened up here. All right, so the first thing we've got here is a bit of a booklet, it looks like. So let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and open this guy up here. Just take a quick peek here. Imagine this is going to be the instructions. Yep, so we've got the read me first. They've got it in all different languages around assembly. And then they've got the variant builds here. So depending on what you want to build, they're going to show you based on colors, which is really nice, especially for kind of newer gamers. You know, with a model that costs $195 US with no discount, you really don't want to dork this up too much. It's an expensive mistake. But it shows you what steps you need to make. Like, so for the Kraken Eater, you just follow steps 1 through 3, the War Stomper 4 through 6, and the Gate Breaker is 7 through 9. And again, the other thing that's cool is it shows you, here's a Kraken Eater. This is the guy on the front of the box, you know, so it really spells it out for you, which I appreciate. Then it goes through the instructions on how to put them together. The blue pieces typically are the pieces that were put on last, so it's a lot like, I don't know, maybe a Lego set or something along those lines, where they're putting all of this together. And I suspect that much of this is probably stock for most of the models. And then the only difference is when you get into like the Kraken Eater, you know, like with the feet, what he's wearing there, and then like the additional bits and bobs that you can put on there. But I imagine the arms and then the weapons, of course, will be unique to them. The nets. There we go. You can see he's got the ships. And the heads there. So that's the Kraken Eater, so I suspect that that's probably just about it. And then they show you putting them on the base. There we go. Then we're moving on to the War Stomper. Kind of see the details on here. Kind of how to assemble them. Then we move to the Gate Breaker. That's the next one. It's kind of cool. I like that Gate Breaker. Looks like you got a couple different options for the waistband and the arms. It shows them on there, and then here's the other little bits that you can put on there, or not. Totally up to you. Now let's take a look at the parts here. Let's start. Looks like we've got one sprue to start with here. So you have some nets, gates. Here's the Kraken tentacle, club. There's the flail. Wow, look at all these pieces. There's the stomach plates, the hands, 3 fingers. That's kind of cool. The arms. There's so many bits associated with this. So when you finish this kit, you can definitely put together, I don't know, all sorts of creative additions on here. That is significant. Like, there's foot. The pieces there, like that's might be one of my favorites. The guy getting held in the hand. That's so cool. There's the heels. Again, look at the detail. The cracked heels on there. I don't know. That guy might need some more fruit in his diet or something. That doesn't look good. Okay, then we get down to the last sprue here. It's the last sprue. We got the gut plate. There's part of the big club from the Kraken variant. There's the shoulder blades. The head. That is significant. The lower jaws. The nets. Yeah, that looks really, really good. And then, of course, the last thing is the base. This thing is massive. For comparisons, I'll put this right next to the rule book, which is an 8.5 by 11. So you can see it's, gosh, maybe 30% of this thing. It is significant. That is no small deal here. All right, so you've got the book. You've got the base. It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues all together packed in that box. Beautiful kit overall. All right, let's transition to what I think about all of this. All right, guys, so that was the unboxing of the Mega-Gargant, which is a very cool product overall. So what are my thoughts here? So, as usual, GW does an amazing job with their plastic kits. They are beautiful. They're well detailed. I would go as far as to say they might be the best in the industry, if not certainly one of the best when you get right down to it. So in terms of you know, does the model have the detail? Does it look nice? Absolutely. One thing I'm kind of curious about is to see how it all goes together. You know, the proof is in the pudding. There are a lot of companies out there that do some great looking models, but they can be super fiddly to put together. I mentioned earlier that I bought the Feast of Bones box set to mainly play with my now 13-year-old daughter. And she wanted the undead guys, and that was pretty difficult for her to put together for a first-time gamer in that case. Fortunately, I've got about 20 years of experience, so I was able to help her in this case. But I'm really curious to put this guy together and see what it takes to make it happen. So we'll see, and I'll certainly share those thoughts with you on that. As far as presence goes, I think that this is going to have an immediate impact as a centerpiece for the army, and I'm really excited to see it within my Ogre Kingdoms. Now, let's talk about the price point. 195 bucks. So GW, let's be real honest, is never been an inexpensive hobby. I mean, maybe compared to like buying a bass boat or, I don't know, some of these other more mainstream hobbies in that case. But in terms of overall price, I think this one is certainly could be cost prohibitive for some. I started this hobby when I was a young man in high school, and I can't imagine shelling out that kind of money. I just didn't have the coin to do something like that. Fortunately, I'm well established in my career, and my wife works, and so I can afford to go ahead and make purchases like this on occasion. But I do think it's a bit of a barrier to entry if you're not really passionate about this model in particular, or have a real need for it. In terms of gameplay, honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I think there's a couple things that at work here that we have to take into account. First, remember this kit, you can produce 1 of 3 giants, and each one of these giants has a different stat sheet. I'm sure as far as the competitive players go, there's one that's going to be way better than the others. How much better than the others? Is it 10% better? Is it 90% better? I have no clue. I'm sure the community will start to work that out, and you can look it up on various forums online and get that all figured out. For me, I'm going to pick one based on aesthetics and put it into play. So is spending 195 bucks worth it for competitive play? I don't know. Not sure yet. So that's probably disappointing to hear. But I think play is only part of the question you have to ask yourself. Do you love the model? Do you want to paint something like this? From a pure hobby perspective, I cannot wait to put paint to this model. I think it'll be a phenomenal add to the collection. So I spent 195 bucks. Would I spend that again? And maybe even again if I was to build a full 2,000 point army. I think I would. I think I would. It's a lot of money, and I don't know that I could do it all at one go, just due to sticker shock alone. But, you know, after I build and put one of these together, could I buy another one and build and put it together? I say yes for now, but I think the proof will be in the pudding. Do I have any regrets buying it? Absolutely not. None with the unboxing, none with going through it with you all. So far, I feel like it's 195 bucks well spent. Do other game companies put out models of similar size for less money? Sure, absolutely. Is their quality good? Maybe in some cases, and sometimes it's a matter of perspective in that case. But overall, I will tell you, I'm very excited about it. I don't have any regrets purchasing it. I do feel like I'll probably pick up some more, especially if I decide to field an army full of Mega-Gargants at some point. But I'm gonna kind of do it one at a time here. You know, it's a journey of 1,000 steps, so to speak. So I do think it was overall a worthwhile purchase. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. I'm sure some of you out there have purchased them, put them together, and probably even painted them and played with them. I'd love to hear you compare and contrast in the comments. Certainly I'm excited to hear that feedback. Ultimately, I really appreciate you guys walking through this unboxing with me. I hope to do many more with you. I think my intent is maybe to do some time-lapse videos of me putting it together and painting it, especially for this new Slow Grow League that we're doing. I'm excited to add this guy to the table. If you're interested in following me on this journey, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know when new content comes out. I'd like to share more videos with you all, and I really appreciate you joining me this morning. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining me on Peach Punch Beef Gaming. Take care.